You promised everything will be okay with my children, but in the end, you killed my son with your own hands.
Not everything is so clear.
You personally forced my son to dismantle the uranium batteries with his bare hands.
Wait, calm down.
We wanted to construct together the toy hyperlight engine.
I can't talk here. Maybe they are listening to us. Let's fly to the restaurant Sky.
So the prototype of the hyperlight engine exploded, you have a nuclear catastrophe, you sent 10,000 people to the certain death to eliminate the consequences of the nuclear explosion, and you just want to go to rest in the restaurant?
Yes.
You're the true embodiment of the Antispare.
So will you fly with me? They say that they have Synthusium. I haven't tried it, but they say that it annihilates the feeling of despair completely. I finally got this limping man come out with me from the main building. Everything was wiretaped here. I needed to tell him something. We sat down into my flying limousine. Yes, I was still a President Chief Commissioner, despite the fact that while my reign there was a nuclear disaster. The limousine stopped. I realized it by the clouds that slowed down and stopped too. The flying cars were equipped with gravity compensators. There were no difference while moving or standing. Waitress, 2 portions of the Synthusium.
Waitress, 4 portions.
Hey, why are you accelerating? I need you to be conscious. They brought us a beautiful canisters. There was a huge button. If you press it, they release steam and liquid. You inhale and swallow at the same time. When you use it, all your feelings become dulled. The same about despair. I didn't use it because I didn't want to be hooked, so I pulled it away. Don't drink this shit. I didn't bring you here for this. The thing is that this place was designed for managers, so they can take a break from incoming messages. There's a blocking field here that doesn't let the signals in and doesn't let them out too. That's why no one will listen to us. So, I have 2 news. One good and one bad.
After what you've done to my son, there is no good news for me.
Your son is alive.
What? But how? Heat insulating fabric! The bag!
Yep.
You just put something in the bag and told everyone that this was just for the child that won't be burned by walls to crawl to the end and secure the cable to the uranium battery.
Yeah.
But the bag was moving.
A dog.
And the explosion?
I just put a firecracker then, so it will make a chain reaction. But
Damn, and what is the bad news?
The explosion was too extreme, so I had to send 10,000 people to eliminate the consequences. Just for your son. For your son, 10,000 people died.
Ah, to hell with them. Without the level of Antispare, we would have wasted them anyway. Sorry, I was heated with joy that my son has survived.
Wait, I'm getting cold. Isn't there a field that doesn't let the signals? It's the president. Hello?
Kurapa, what the hell are you? I told you that sending 10,000 people to eliminate the consequences of the nuclear disaster are not enough. You should have sent 100,000. They don't have time to clean up the mess. By the way, I was sent something about you. Come to me. We need to talk in person.
Sure, Mr. President. I was denounced. He knows something. A couple of minutes, I was flying in the flying limousine into the flying building. I wondered if I, 16-year-old boy, would twist a president with my own hands. That's strange, but there wasn't any security near to him. Only one robot. It's too weak. Connected to the neuroshunt. Chose some martial arts. And the pictures flew in front of me. I shook. I felt like I was really training. I felt pain and punches all over my body. The hook from the right, the hook from the left. My head hurted like crazy. And then I fainted. Maybe it was a knockout. Days of trains passed in seconds. And the pain was also multiplied in 100 times.
Ah, neuroshunt. Disconnect me. I can't take it anymore. I could barely move my parts of the body. Bruises
appeared on my skin. I barely came to the president's office. Come in. I'll be right there.
Wait, did you just say the combined course of jiu-jitsu and kickboxing?
Well, yeah, I train so not to waste time and advance the system of the Antispare and accelerate our high-tech progress of our state.
Yeah, tell me. They sent me some recordings about you. Listen to them.
I just put a firecracker. Damn! What a disgusting, vile bastard!
I agree. He is a damn bastard. He sacrificed 10,000 people for his children, your reputation, and he turned you into me. I came across another post. Take a look.
He showed me a video where I fed Sanya with high molecular boogers, so he will get fat and move the bars apart with his fat. Yeah, I force-fed him to move apart with his fat the bars and make my goals. Isn't this the first level of the Antispare?
Ay, it's bad to lie. Listen with the sound.
Sanya, I won't leave you. I'll find the soul and sew you out from this fence. I realized that I have no choice and used a choke on the president. It happened by itself. I mastered such cool techniques. It was very cool and lightning fast. I held the president's throat with an iron grip. Suddenly, my body arched and the foam came out of my mouth. The jaws were so tight that some of the teeth crumbled.
And you thought that you would destroy the Antispare with the jiu-jitsu? I directly control your color with my neuroshunt.
What the?
But I didn't tell you the main thing.
What?
Through your color, I can listen to your thoughts.
So you knew everything about me?
Everything.
And you made me your chief commissioner?
Yes, made you a chief commissioner.
But why?
The Antispare has one drawback. Yes, the sharp increase in progress. People don't spare themselves, other people, and even the loved ones. They act effectively like robots.
That's the point.
Like robots. Fast, efficient, and purposeful. But the factor of the failure completely disappears.
Yeah, but this is cool. It's good.
No, that's not cool. The failures are cool.
Huh?
Mistakes make science. Mistakes drive progress. Without mistakes, any progress is impossible. You made a mistake by doubling the checking of the hypothesis on the Hyperlight engine.
Well, yeah.
And all these Antispare comrades who killed all their families for the sake of first level, they would have chickened out if they have increased the frequency of the hypothesis even by 10%. But you doubled it! Oh god, no one will go for that. But that's not even my fault. This traitor major advised me that, and I, a fool, listened. By trusting this bastard, you made a mistake. What's good about that? Now 100,000 people are eliminating the consequences of the nuclear disaster that I initiated. You forgot that you have moved the ship faster than the speed of the light for 1 meter. I reviewed the reports, and the main thing is that because of the overheated uranium batteries, the malforming of the space is possible, and you can slip through there to move faster than the speed of the light. We would have tested thousands of the hypotheses, killed millions of people to come up to this. No one, not even the most fearless, would create a radioactive hazard, kill thousands of people in order to overheat the uranium batteries. Everyone knows that overheating of the nuclear processors is the worst thing. No one would risk it. No one would do this. If I would knew what this leads to, I wouldn't do it too. Every state system needs the people who will break the laws, shit on rules,
cheat, or as in your case, just be stupid. Only in this way the system becomes stronger. The bunch of rules and the strict implement turns the society into the robots. That's why I decided to give you a free rein and see what happens. And I didn't regret it. Since you decided to share, please tell me, why the hell is this Hyperlight engine is required for the sake of saving humanity? That's why the main priority. For this, we have to sacrifice millions and even billions. What do you mean? Sorry, can't tell you anymore, but I can give you the immune certificate of the Antispare of first level. No one will be able to report you or remove your status of the Antispare. And now, spare whatever you want and go for your business. How can I get rid of this collar? No way, it has grown into a nervous system. If you ripped out, you would have a brain hemorrhage. Now go. The first thing I did is asking the database about the collar device. Access was blocked. What was I even thinking about? With this device, the president controls all the managers. When suddenly, I've seen a similar person passing by. Kurapov, you are here? Aren't you supposed to be? Do you want to ask me why I'm not at the recycling? Or not cleaning the consequences of the nuclear explosion where everyone is sent who showed spare? No, I didn't. Oh, you bitch! I didn't even expect that you would turn out into such rottenness! What are you doing? You wanted to kill me when you recommended to increase the frequency of checking the hypothesis on the Hyperlight engine. Made a direct denunciation to the president. Although I, for your son, sacrificed everything. Forgive me, Vanya. I worked in the patrol service. Antispare has changed me. I made such things. I made people break the kittens' legs and watch them suffer. I always went to my goals through the corpses. This is how I turned out. And you, Vanya, how do you always manage to sleep away? That's none of your business. I don't trust you anymore, and I won't tell you anything. And what are you going to do with me now? I want you to make a coup d'etat in the It seems I have a block on the thoughts of the treason. I can't even think about the end of the... You know, I had a schizophrenic uncle. Of course I killed him. And of course he wasn't a great relative. But I received the first level. That's not the point. I learned something about schizophrenia, and it turns out that schizophrenics can think in 2 or even 3 streams at the same time. What a douchebag you are. But a helpful douchebag. I connected to the neuroshunt and started to learn everything about the psychiatry. It turns out that schizophrenics really can think in 2 or 3 streams. But the most interesting thing, that the normal people can do this too. There are even practitioners who teach this, and this is quite simple. In ordinary thoughts, we use the first stream, we say the words to ourselves, but you can think not in words, but in pictures. This launches the second stream, one the verbal, and the second one is visual. And the main thing, that they work in the same time. And I started to pronounce cats. What a beautiful cats. I like to pet cats. Imagining that I'm entering the presidential office to find some weakness to eliminate the president. We need to drive the main cat away from the window where he was lounging for too long. Otherwise, he might drop the flower of life, with his long tail. No way, you told a complete nonsense, but I understood everything. The cat is the president? I'll wait until he falls asleep, and I'll go to his floor. I try to report to the president about my affairs every 20 or 30 minutes in order to track when president falls asleep and begin the penetration. I was walking through the corridors pretending that I had some business on the presidential floor, and I was always thinking about cats. There was a bot flying near to the entrance of the presidential office.
Access to the president is blocked for everyone.
Bot 7274, please remind me of the basic program of Antispare robots.
The program states that the robot must not by its action or inaction cause harm to the president.
Thing is that I came to check the president's security, and you with your actions are preventing me from checking his security, what means you can potentially pose danger to the president. The robot was silent. It seemed to creak, but nothing happened. So, do I go? The robot was silent, as if he was lagging. I didn't expect that I'll shout him out that quickly. I walked into the presidential office and walked into the terminal. It was the size of the pool table. I started looking for information about what is a hyperlight engine and how it should save the humanity. And it seemed that I found what I was looking for. But there were two folders. One was called a hyperlight engine, and the second one was called a time machine. I opened it and
Who gave you permission to take my cookie?
I'm just... it was laying up here.
So you decided to break down the door to my office and eat it?
Well, yeah, because only you get such cookies, and I don't know where to buy them.
No one brings them. I bake by myself.
Would you share a recipe?
Stop playing the show, Kurapov. Admit, what are you doing in my office? And how did the combat robot let you here?
The robot itself lagged, and I came for the smell of cake. In fact, I really sneaked into the president's office by disarming a security robot. I tried to find out why the president is throwing all the country forces to create a hyperlight engine and why it's so in secret. But I found something completely different. There was a folder called Time Machine. I managed to explore it a little, and it was Strange Time Machine. The thing that it didn't quite...
Not quite? What's not quite with you there?
Ah, damn! The thought came to him. Great, only the last one. I forgot that I need to think in two streams. The thing is that I had a collar that was connected to my nervous system, and the president could directly read my thoughts. That's why I played out the circus with the cake, to make a distractive stream of thoughts that was red. And I made a second stream of thoughts with images and pictures, so the color won't see it. Not quite. The cake was not quite baked. The jam inside was just right, but the cookie inside not quite baked. The president approached to the terminal. He clicked something there and quickly turned to look at me.
What do you know? Say something. And why do you always think about cats and food?
I like to pet cats and to eat. I don't need anything else in life, so I'm always thinking about it.
Did you somehow change your thoughts and bypass the system? Okay, here you go.
The pain twisted in my body into an arc. The jaws clenched so hard that one of the teeth crumbled. The pain was too strong and it was impossible to think in two streams. The cat disappeared from my head and he could read one of my thoughts.
Why hit directly into the nervous system?
So you know something about the time machine, yeah?
And what did you learn about the hyperlight engine?
What?
You like when the puss is ginger but not a dark? Here you go, puss.
Please, no.
Well, you didn't find out anything. By the way, It's cool that you changed your thoughts. Come on, share how did you make it. We need to improve the system.
I'll tell everything, but take off this collar.
I won't take it. How would I control you then?
And how would you control me if you can't read my thoughts?
Really? Watch yourself and without jokes. I'll enter the password to remove the collar. So, now tell me, how did you bypass the mind-reading system through the collar?
Oh. How cool!
I taught him the technique of thinking in two streams. The color system was clearly not finished, and the president set a task to rework it. Soon it will be fixed. Cool. It's not for nothing that I'm keeping you. You're advancing science faster than I thought. But your action became too dangerous for me. You're too close for me. And now tell, what do you know about the time machine?
First, say,
what are you going to do with me? I didn't remove you after you killed 150,000 people. I left you as my chief commissioner after you tried to overthrow me. I keep you for development of the progress. I need to improve the time machine.
About the time machine, I've learned a lot. And that this is not a time machine, but rather a flash drive of time,
with which you can access to the internet of the future. And you looked at the technologies of the future and downloaded them to the present. That's why there was a technological leap. And not because the Antispare was introduced. Yeah, you are right. But Antispare is still required for you to be an internal president. Is that what you needed for? The whole conversation with the president, I was holding a collar when unexpectedly, even for me, I grabbed the president and locked that neuro collar on his neck.
What have you done?
I ran to the terminal, found the collar control service and pressed the first button. When suddenly I heard a choral cry, as if thousands of people were screaming behind the walls.
Idiot, you pressed the button to never strike all the managers. Turn it off immediately. I'm about to lose consciousness.
I disabled the neuro hit of the whole management department. I figured out how to do a single neuro strike, found my collar number, and turned on the neuro strike again, but only for the president.
Please, stop!
How do you like the Antispare? Huh? Do you like when the Antispareful with the power is near to you? I watched with pleasure how the president was twitching it with the neuro strike.
I beg you!
Do you know how I was begging when they made me run around the stadium to lose that much weight that I'll fit into the 20 centimeters gap? Do you know how hundreds of thousands of people who involved in liquidation of nuclear consequences, who clean up the nuclear waste with their bare hands beg?
All the nuclear explosions were because of you idiot!
It was you who came up with this damn hyperlight engine. I didn't make people mine tons of uranium, make those uranium warehouses that exploded. None of that would have happened if not your damn hyperlight engine and your Antispare.
Stop, please! I do everything!
Damn. I think that I overdid it. But I found him so disgusting that in my heart I hoped that he would finally hit the bucket. But I needed him alive. I didn't know anything about hyperlight engine, and I needed to know how to use the flash drive of time, and also how to cancel the Antispare in the country. Hey President, wake up!
Oh, who are you? What are you doing in my office? Kurapov? Is that you? Why am I wearing a collar?
And now tell me, why the hell do you need that hyperlight engine?
I'll tell you now. Here in the terminal, you need to be given an access code. I'll insert it.
Wait! Don't forget about the caller. I have connected to your thoughts. And I know that you are about to declare a state of emergency to save you. Then I can do it. How are you thinking in two streams? For this you need to train tenaciously. But I don't advise you. If I'll understand that you're thinking in two streams, I'll make a neuro strike for several hours. Did you understand me? He added my number as the chief manager of the administration. Step away from the terminal. Let me see what we have here. I figured out how to use the flash drive of time. You had to choose a year and go to the internet of that year. But there were only years up to 2045. In 2045, the internet ended. Well, maybe the flash drive works only for 20 years forward. I started studying future, more precisely, the internet of the future. Whoa! Kanye West went broke and started working as the cashier, and Antispare was flourished there. Laws were tightened as much as they could, and in 2033, there was no person left without the status of the Antispare, and humanity decreased by 3 times. By the 2032, we'll ruin 2/3 of the planet, just for the sake of your goddamn Antispare, you goddamn moron! Are you ready to kill so many people for the sake of your presidency? Think as you wish, but believe me, this is necessary for salvation of whole humanity. Screw your nonsense! I'm cancelling everything! I have the authority, so where is the legislative base here? I can perfectly cancel the law. First, I'm cancelling Antispare. From August 20th, you no longer need to be spareless to have civil rights and work. Now you can even spare a blade of grass. And then I heard several screams. Behind the wall where the managers were walking, it began some noise, cracking, broken glass. I came out to the hallway to see what is happening. Hey, what's happening? Antispare was cancelled! How am I going to live now? Before the Antispare, I was a cashier, and with Antispare, I achieved highs. But you can get a dog and spare it, and if it gets sick, not put it asleep, but cure it and spare it. Yeah, and who returned my loved ones, whom I killed to achieve a role in the management. But no, dude. These are your problems. You chose the path of Antispare and decided to kill all your loved ones. So now, clean it all yourself. Then I wanted to watch TV and look how the society reacted. At the moment of abolition the Antispare mass riots began. The people who didn't have even the third level of Antispare, in fact those people who even spared the mouse, now take the revenge on the ruthless. They attack, torture and break legs. Civil war has started. Tens of thousands deaths. Wait, who let them in here? I didn't kill anyone. Why do I work here? I cheated. I didn't kill anyone. What's happening? Before they spared to kill a mouse, and now they are going to kill people? I told you so. You don't know the human nature. Those who spare the most are the devils in still waters. I spared the most. I spared every chicken whose necks I wrung because my father made me do it to teach me an Antispare. And I will never kill intentionally the person. Don't judge people by yourself. There are only few like you. Basically people are just disgusting primates. They are just zombies that need to be loaded with information and kept on electric shock so they'll obey. Now you are the zombie under the control. I pressed the button of the neuro strike to the president. Idiot! Your mistakes have gone too far. Go to the flash drive of the time and check the internet of the future, what they write about the events that happened today. Okay. I went into the time machine controls and wanted to choose a year, when suddenly I noticed that the choice of the date of the internet of the future was now limited to 20 2035. What is it? Why was the date ranged up to the 2045 and now it has decreased to the 2035? The maximum length of flash drive of time is limited by the moment when the internet disappears. And most likely, when the internet of future disappears, something happened to humanity. Something. The end of the world. Damn! And the Kanye West became popular again! He became the most popular on the planet Earth! By cancelling the Antispare, you brought the end of the world by 10 years closer. No way! Do you know what it cost me to increase the deadline to the 2045? I had to turn half of the country to the bloody mess. Force people to stop sparing everything. Get rid of the old, of the sick. By the way, my mom was sick too. I had to get rid of her. Oh, come on, don't be upset. Why are you like this? I looked at the president, who was lying on the floor and crying. The one president who introduced Antispare, the one who forbade emotions to the other people. Now, he was crying. Do you know what the last date was when I found the flash drive of time? How could I know? 2029. 4 years remained for humanity to live. I came across an explanation of scientist sociologist on the internet of the future. He clearly proved on the group of people that Spare is the main trouble of the humanity. Spare contains evil. Spare kills the humanity. Do you even know what the Spare really is? It's kind and good emotion that's needed for people to help to each other. No! Spare is arrogance. Feel yourself above the object of Spare. By feeling Spare, you define the object of Spare as below you, and you condescendingly help him. Seems cute? Yeah, but this is the pure evil. Deep in your subconscious, there's a spark that you're a superhuman, and the object of Spare is subhuman. You can't spare, because as you have seen on TV, all those people who felt sorry to break a kitten's paw rushed with pitchforks. The result of being used to Spare. They used to consider themselves as superior than other people. Can I read the research? Where can I find it? Look under the code 45 fraction 8. I opened the research document and immersed myself into reading. It really confirmed all the words of the president. I was so immersed that I didn't even notice how I read to the end. And at the end, I saw the author's signature. It was written there. Banginkur. A chill ran through me. It was my childhood pseudonym. I was the creator of Antispare. I'll look on the internet of the future if GTA 6 has been released. The developers promise that it will be released in 2029. And you still seem to be a child. We have the end of the world at the stake, and you are just looking for games? It would be better if you look to the internet of the future and you'll see if the end of the world approaching or not. Yes, I'm 16 and I'm tired of deciding the people's fate. I always dream to look in the internet of the future and see what games there will be. Okay, watch. They promised that it would come out in 2029, but they moved it to 2034. Another move. I'll set the date to 2034 and now see what's on the internet of the future. Wait, I can't send the date? Now the flash drive of time is limited to 2031? Before it was 2034. What happened? Before you made a lot of troubles and canceled the Antispare law through my terminal, the range was limited by 2045. Take the color of me already. You see that the date range is decreasing
and the end of the world is approaching to us.
By the way, I wanted to tell you that I learned something about the person who invented Antispare, a scientist sociologist who conducted a research in 2029. Do you know who he is?
Oh, I don't know exactly, but he was noted as the Wangenkur. He was popular at the future because he never made a mistake, and he also helped to do an Antispare. When I introduced the Antispare, the date on the flash drive of time started to grow and reached the 2045. That means that the end of the world was postponed because his law was introduced.
Wangenkur is my childhood pseudonym.
So you say that you are a scientist? You say that you came up with Antispare? You, the one who just felt sorry to leave his friend to die?
Yes, it's me. Look here.
I showed him my childhood social networks.
What, seriously?
Oh Lord! Great Wangenkur! I didn't expect that I'll meet you in person. I'll serve you forever. Just please take off this collar from me. No way, I don't trust you. But it's interesting for me how I came up with Antispare if I'm against it. And how did you even came up with this?
How? Lived in Antispare and figured out. But then the paradox rises. If Antispare exists now, that means that it exists in future. And if it exists in future, that means that I could not invent it in the future because it exists now. I'll see in the internet of the future.
Wait, what? What's there?
The date range has decreased even more.
Now you can only look up to 2026.
Bring back the Antispare. People are just obliterating themselves because there is no strict law over them.
My hands were shaking. It felt like the end of the world is coming right towards me. I tried to make a loss, but the numbers in the terminal were blurry before my eyes.
Give me it because you can do something wrong.
So you'll call for the reinforcements. I figured out myself. I'm introducing the Antispare again.
View the last date immediately.
Okay. What? The deadline is 2025. That means that there is no internet of future at all.
The window, faster!
I ran to the window to see what's happening. The vista unfolded from the flying building. It was a fascinating view, but scary view.
We saw the half of the city ignited.
In a moment, the second half of the city ignited. The whole city was burning.
Someone used the thermoreactive annihilator. Everything is going to burst into flames.
And what's even that? No time to explain. Give me the terminal. I'll figure out what have you done. What?
Damn! I was overcome with panic and fear. I didn't even notice how the president took the terminal.
Maybe it's for the greater good.
Maybe he'll solve this situation.
Crap, you introduced the Antispare with the minimum level. Even someone who doesn't spare an insect can be a citizen. Just that? Crushed an ant and received the Antispare status. It's the same as it doesn't exist. Oh Lord, we'll burn into ashes now. Don't panic, maybe we'll make it in time. It's time to introduce the most brutal Antispare. Most brutal? Such that only the one who spares nothing for the sake of Antispare will make it. He'll need to cut off his little finger. What a nonsense! No time and no choice. Look out the window. Dying now. The fire disappeared as if nothing was burning. Turn on the TV and look how society reacts.
Today our citizens have a question. What's in the head of our government? In just one day they removed the key law of Antispare, and in the same day they returned it, but on more brutal terms. Strange, but the riots have stopped. It might be silly, but I lost a little finger, but I now have a high-paying job. Thanks for the Antispare. While I was watching TV, I completely forgot that the president had a terminal. He managed to insert something in the terminal. I understood this because the robot flew in.
Kurapov Ivan, you're under arrest for violating the Antispare law.
Why? I don't have a little finger.
Indeed, the little finger is gone. The arrest is cancelled. Kurapov, you're free.
Go for your business, dumbass bot. Damn, I didn't even notice that you don't have a pinky finger too. Give me back. I pressed the button of Neller strike for the president. This time he got me mad. That's why I watched with some sort of satisfaction as he fainted in electric convulsions. I went into the internet of the future. The date range was limited to 2027? Only 2 years were gained by such cruel law? Why didn't it increase to its original year, 2045? Apparently the humanity was seriously battered with the twitching of laws. So we need to tighten the Antispare even more. What can be done even more brutally than killing the loved ones and cutting off a finger? It's necessary that people won't spare humanity itself. What? But this is the goal. What could be more important? Nothing should have any meaning for the person. This is the highest rank of development. And how are you going to implement this? If humanity doesn't spare itself, then we'll bite the dust first. And this is not necessary for us to be. We should be ready to accept the death. We need to give every citizen a nuclear missile and give access to launch it to some small district. And this will be the test if the person doesn't spare even the humanity. What a nonsense! You forget who is in front of you. I'm Bangenkur. Yeah. Now I understand why all of this is necessary. Now I understand why I have become great. A person can be considered as a person when he can renounce everything, when he is not attached to anything, and when he is truly independent from anything. Yes! This is from your article that you'll write in future, word for word, that the person is addicted to everything, on his health, on communication with loved ones, on his own life, and because of addiction, all the problems. Only when a person can renounce completely everything, including the future of humanity, then he becomes truly free. Then the great civilization borns, and such civilization can be sent into space and become intergalactic. But how can we do it if hyperlight engine is exploded? Yes, exactly. We will have to develop it again. We need to prioritize the development of the hyperlight engine. We need to force all people to focus on development of it. But who'll do it? You! You are the great Van Genkur. We'll make you the president. President? Well, it's cool. But I'm only 16. But it doesn't matter. With the help of neuroshoons you can download knowledge and experience. I'll understand this, and people will understand this. Well, 16 years, not a big deal. Everyone will understand. You'll just download everything through the neuroshoon. And that's all. And I'll remain as your chief commissioner. Yes! Me! I'll become the president! Suddenly you'll become the president. Yeah, Mr. President. I made a re-elections within a few days. Then I decided to watch how society reacted.
Our government never stops to amaze. For the first time in history of mankind, they put a 16-year-old boy to the role of president. Well, what good can he come up with? Some are reporting that the power has been seized and it's not legitimate. And the former president is held hostage and forced to make all the stupid decisions.
Well, what did you expect? Working with the public opinion is very hard work. I always encounter this. To be fair, as soon as you take a position, you need to tighten the laws so that the people stop thinking about you and start thinking about strict and new laws. What could be even more strict than Antispare? I think that we should cancel people from making love. What? And self-satisfaction too. And what will it do? Will make a privilege. Those who will advance the development of the Hyperlight engine will be allowed to make love and self-satisfaction. Do you know how they'll stir? Well, okay. I'm putting a new law. From August 26, it will be forbidden to receive a sexual pressure, but everyone who can participate in development of Hyperlight engine and make some progress, it will be allowed to receive sexual pleasure. I made a new law and decided to watch TV to see how society reacted. I'm told that the riots are happening all over the country. People stop following any anti-spare rules. We have the state of emergency. The laws are too confusing and too crazy to follow. I'm told that the patrol services stop following orders. The chaos will start again. What's going on? What did you even advise me, you schmuck? Sorry, Kurapov. You're a smart boy. But I oversmarted you. I had to remove you. And I did it. With my head. After that, 100 patrolmen burst into the room with blasters in their hands. Everyone stay put. Not move. Take the Kurapov quickly. He seized the power with the force. Security bot, arrest everyone who broke in here illegally.
There's no such possibility. My functions allow to capture with NG handcuffs only 5 people at once.
Then call other bots.
They're all deactivated.
How? Like that, deactivated. A bullet flew into the robot's central chamber. It sparkled. Then he started to spin, and then he fell. You again. You're a patrolman again. And how's your son doing? Constructs a Hyperlight engine and doesn't complain. Maybe you should put the gun down. After all, we're at the same page. You and me were never at the same page. You humiliated me. You snitched on me 5 times. I hate you. I have created the Antispare. I am the president. And I'm the creator of the Minecraft too. I jumped to the terminal and looked at the date range of the flash drive of time. It increased to 2204. How is that possible? The end of the world is so far away? I think when the chance of your death is increasing, the end of the world is moving away. Well, Kurapov, the time has come for the real Antispare. Are you ready to sacrifice yourself to postpone the end of the world for whole humanity?